Lost on Lost Season 2, baby!
Hell yeah!
We've watched Seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Lost, and we've learned a lot.
Did we?
And we've learned to love Jack, Kate, Sawyer, Boone, and Claire.
Did we?
But now it's time for Seasons 4, 5, and 6.
That's right, we're still going to talk about the mysteries and mythologies of the island.
And obviously hot tropical hookups.
But now we're going to talk about things like the freighter,
The Others,
Charles Widmore,
The Lighthouse,
time travel,
9/11,
Ronald Reagan,
the Catholic Church,
Titus,
gold chains,
the military-industrial complex,
the prison industrial complex,
the void,
the orb,
and so much more.
So strap on and strap down, because if you thought last season was confusing,
This is going to be so much worse. Or better if you like being lost on Lost. Strap on?
you heard me.
Ooh, welcome everybody to Lost on Lost. Hey, I'm JP Russell, and I'm joined as always by a man who sure does love da-na-na-na-na-na-na leader. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na leader.
Batman! I mean, leader!
Adam Busher.
That's me, baby. I love the leader. And I would like to indicate to you my collection of leader beans.
Yeah. Adam, we have a guest.
We do?
Yes.
What a good idea. What a good idea.
And unlike the characters in the show, hopefully this guest won't die in the first 3 minutes of this episode.
Holy shit, I hope not.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to Lost on Lost, Chris Waters.
Great to be here. Great to be here.
Great to have you.
I mean, the folks at home can't enjoy this. We can, because we do this on video call. Your beard is looking full and lush and just majestic as fuck.
The shit's so good, it looks like AI. Like, you got an AI beard on you.
Thanks. I grew it myself. What can I say?
Bro got that Giga Chad filter on.
Just on to everyday life. It seriously gets thicker every time I see it.
It's crazy.
Well, and I'm thankful because beards really are like makeup for men. Underneath this, I have a child's face, so I'm very thankful for the beard.
It's tragic. I've seen Chris without a beard. It's
Butt chin, not a good scene. Not
You
a good
automatically
scene
get
under
a Bluetooth headset and a parole officer.
all right. Hey, before we get going here, we gotta clear the air. We area.
we got some beef.
Chris texted me a while back.
Okay.
We covered a topic here on Lost on Lost that Chris took a little bit of issue with, and he took it bothered him enough that he wanted to reach out and let me know that you, JP, my dear darling co-host, and Chris, my dear brother, you gotta flatten this thing out, man. You gotta squash the beef for the sake of the audience, for the sake of the show.
Chris, are we fighting? What?
Yeah, we're kind of fighting right now.
Oh, no.
Sorry you didn't know.
Don't yell at me. I'll come.
Well, the beef is because, JP, I actually I'm an avid listener to the podcast. I don't show up and do a bit and leave. So in one of the podcasts, you were talking about your former band kid days, and I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a band director, and you were talking about your euphonium playing days, and I was even so excited that you used euphonium, and you didn't call it a baritone. Yeah. And then I was like, wow, JP, what a guy. And then you instantly started trashing the euphonium in the next breath. And I cannot stand for it.
Well, I think it's more to the fact that, like, I was and still am very unsuccessful with women.
Probably because you quit the euphonium.
Yeah, and so I like to blame it on any part of my personality that has contributed to red flags. So I don't think that intrinsically the euphonium is bad. In fact, I enjoyed the hell out of playing euphonium, but it did not get me laid. So, like,
it's because you never went to band camp. Obviously.
That's true. I could have had sex with a bassoon.
Got to work on your embouchure.
Oh, I'm working on it. And you know what that mouth do? Podcast.
Not play the euphonium.
Lost on Lost faithful. This is a very difficult time for us here on the pod, but I would like to thank all of you for your years of faithful listening as I go through this very difficult time, and I would like to formally apologize for my actions and behaviors toward the euphonium community and those associated with the euphonium community. I hope you can accept this apology.
I wish I would have known you were going to apologize right now. I would have grabbed my ukulele.
But you know what I still hate? The flute. You hold that shit out the car window and it fucking plays itself. It's not an instrument. Come at me, flute fuckers. Hey, you guys want to talk about Lost?
Fuck yeah, let's do it. Oh man, fucking Follow the Leader, baby. Follow the Leader. Follow the Leader originally aired on May 6, 2009. It is the 15th episode of the 5th season of the television program Lost. It was written by Paul Zabusky and Elizabeth Sarnoff. Mm-hmm. And it was directed by Stephen Williams. Paul Zabusky is the co-creator of another ABC television program called Daybreak, starring Taye Diggs, which was a time loop television show. I've been watching it on DVD because you can't stream it anymore. It's not like it's popular or anything. That's just pretty good. And this Elizabeth Sarnoff, she did like Daredevil and some other shit too.
Yeah.
Stephen Williams directed this episode, and his brother played Apopsis.
You're doing this on purpose.
No, I'm trying to do it right. A pop fist on Stargate
Fist your mouth.
That is, and his name is Peter Williams, and I'm sure he has a tremendous back catalog of other acting stuff as well. But Apophis.
There you go.
Got it. See,
pop tits.
The Follow the Leader takes place on the 4th day after the crash of Ajira 316 in 1977, and then the 4th and 5th days after the crash of Ajira 316 in 2007. JP.
Yeah.
Do you have a recap?
I do.
Hit it.
I hope you're hungry because we got more steaks than Ruth Chris. On the island, everyone is being led around. Horace leads around Sawyer. Eloise leads around Jack and Kate. Locke leads around the others. And Hurley leads around some of that good, sweet Dharma Ranch. All of our factions race to complete their missions. Everyone's working hard to reset the timeline and save themselves 3 years of suffering. I sure hope a nuclear bomb doesn't go off and split the timeline. Was this a fucking Richard episode? Fuck it. Let's follow the leader here on Lost on Lost. I didn't get too crazy into this one because I want to get into the discussion of this episode as quickly as possible.
I fully did not realize that this was a Richard-centric episode.
I always look at the spreadsheet beforehand to confirm that I'm watching the right one. Watched it and then went back and I was like, is that a Richard episode?
We opened in 1977.
Did you get the skip recap was missing again?
It was missing again.
Yeah.
So
I was so confused because the episode starts so fucking abruptly.
I assume I got to the right place because there was like a 3-second gap of a black space, and it was about a minute in, and that's usually about how long the recaps are.
Yeah.
Daniel Faraday is holding this woman at gunpoint. We all know and love Daniel Faraday here, Jeremy Davis.
Not like this. We don't know him.
He's in the Dharma Initiative. He's got a jumpsuit. It's all good. There was an episode that we saw a while back whenever we watched Some Like It Hoth. We watched Some Like It Hoth a while ago. That episode ends with Daniel Faraday arriving on the island from the sub.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time we were just like, what? So Danny's here now. And yeah.
Look at this fucking nerd.
And he's like, I'm not a nerd anymore. I got a gun. I'm not wearing that dorky tie. It's fucking party time. Give me the bomb.
That was me showing up to my 10-year class reunion in high school.
Give me the bomb.
I'm not a nerd anymore. I got a gun.
I'm just confused, and I've seen a lot of Lost.
Yeah.
I guess it's been a while since I've watched an episode, so this was probably good. But, like, the island has the most random assortment of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, the polar bear I could get behind. At least there was a cage. It explained where it came from.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
like, why is the nuke there? Was it the one-eyed Russian? Is that too stereotypical? Bleep me out if this is going to cause too many issues, but like, did the one-eyed Russian bring it? How did it get here? Does this question ever get answered? I don't know.
It actually does. The season 5, episode 3 episode Jughead is basically all about the bomb.
I keep forgetting there's an episode named Jughead, and I get angrier every time you remind me of it.
It's still quite a ways down.
Oh, fuck me. All right.
Yeah, they do explain it, and hypothetically, the chronological viewer had this explained to them. Not here. Not on this show. Fuck that.
That's Lost on Lost, baby.
Yeah. But Danny's like, yeah, so give me the bomb or I'm going to start capping everybody, starting with Blondie here. Or Richard.
Right. Something must have happened because this is very unfair day.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to blast him if you don't give me the thing. 1, 2. And Richard's like, I wouldn't do that every review. And there's like 2.5. And then you hear gunshots. Pow, 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 pow. And then Daniel drops like a bag of hot rocks.
Well, so I was watching this while at work. I hope my boss never listens to this podcast. And I was watching it on my phone while at a live event. the people were so small, I couldn't tell which one was Faraday and which one was Richard. And I just saw a body drop, and I thought it was Richard. I was like, he's immortal.
Yeah,
good for Danny for fucking having the cojones.
Yeah.
To
Strength
go
of his
through with
convictions, exactly.
Yeah. And then I come to find out later, Danny fucking gets blasted. I was like, oh no, my boy.
My boy. So this is happening. Kate and Jack are crouched in a bush 6 feet away.
Yeah.
T2J on the old follow the leader 15 seconds. And they're like, what's going on? This is kind of crazy, right? And Jack's like, it's all good. I believe everything that's going to happen happens for a reason. Everything's fine. And then Daniel gets shot in the back by his mother.
Jack is so just like, ever since they came back to the island, he's so like, we just gotta let the island do its thing. Which I guess is playing out well for the timeline, but I don't know. He's just kind of like, I can't. What's the decision overload? Like, I can't make any more decisions.
His executive
like,
dysfunction.
Yes, exactly.
Or he's been insufferable for so long that he just reaches limit. I don't know.
Like, I prefer this Jack way more. Yes.
Kate has second thoughts about this. Like, Jack gives her the whole, we just gotta wait and see what happens. Like, we got brought back here for a reason. Maybe the reason was to watch Daniel get shot. And she's like, you're a nut bar. We should do something. We should do anything. Let's not descend into entropy. Like, let's be active. Then Dan gets shot.
Yeah.
Then Cowboy rides by and hits Jack in the head with a rifle.
Smashes him in the face. And I've got to say, about time someone smashes Jack in the face.
I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
The camera work there was a bit nauseating.
Oh, yeah, totally.
This fucking guy, like, riding out of Lawrence of Arabia, he's got a scarf and cargo pants and, like, an ancient rifle and a horse. It's the first time we've ever seen anybody riding a horse on the island. Like,
the amount of times that just, like, goons have come out of the grass and been like, stick him up. This time he came out and he did the cool thing where he, like, flipped the gun around so he could fucking croquet mallet him. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
This kind of works for me.
Yeah.
Hit him again.
He holds up Kate and he's like, don't do anything, whatever. We come back over to Ellie. Ellie is reading Dan's journal that he had with him.
Rude.
There's a little passage in there that says, don't forget, I will always love you, mother. And she's like, oh my God. Oh. And then Charles comes in with the prisoners and he's just like, why is the Dharma Initiative suddenly... Oh, let me see if I... Why is the Dharma Initiative suddenly engaged us in warfare?
That's pretty good.
And she's like, they're not from the Dharma Initiative, moron.
Use your fucking deductive reasoning skills.
Yeah. Cut to 30 years later, 2007. Richard is sitting on the beach working on a little ship in the bottle.
How do you get the whole thing in there? I don't understand how they work.
Papa John comes in, bringing home the bacon.
Every time we have these, like, this is a segment we haven't done in a long time. This is JP Bitches about cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
They have these scenes in tents that they're clearly filming real late in the day. This is like the third time it's happened across the run of the show where they're trying to fill in with supplemental lighting and it just does not look good because then after the cold open, we cut back to like the continuation of the scene and it's just midday.
Right. The easiest one to reference is the breakfast scene with Ben and Kate from season 3. Like the lighting looks exactly the same because whatever they're doing, it's just not working.
It's just real bad. Like you can tell it's like a cloudy day and they're like, we got to make it look like it's sunnier outside or something. Or I don't know. It doesn't play.
Yeah, it's weird. John Locke, not John Locke. This is Flock.
I forgot that this was Flock.
It's like, it took me a second to be like, is Flock alive at this point, or is he? And then I was like, okay, no.
That's Lost on Lost, baby.
This late in season 5, it's got to be Flock. Yeah, he's got a boar. He's like, yeah, I thought I'd bring you some breakfast. Breakfast is served.
Who wants the hooves?
Nobody here knows that it's Flock. They all think it's Locke. John's like, Richard, it's been a while. It's been 3 years, John.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like fucking, what a glow up.
And at first he's kind of like happy to see him.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow. I kind of started to forget about you. I figured you were dead. You know?
And he's like, but there's something different about you.
Yeah, he clocks it real fucking fast.
He's like, I have a purpose now. And it's like, that wasn't it, but let's do that for now. Flock needs to recruit. He recruits Richard for a quick errand. He's like, we gotta go for a little stroll. You can come with me.
Fucking human bruise and Son walk up.
Yep. They talk to each other a little bit about like like Son's like, what the fuck is up with that? And he's like, that's Richard. He's immortal. He's like an advisor to the others. So like he used to be like my advisor, but like now that Locke's in charge, like
I don't want to talk about it.
it's real touchy and whatever. And so Son's like, oh well, if he's in charge, I'm gonna talk to him. I'm still looking for my husband. I have not seen him in 3 years.
Walking around with the photo, just being like, have you seen this man?
Shows him the Dharma recruit's picture and be like, these people, were you here in 77 since you're ageless, which I just found out, and do you know where they are? And he's like, yeah, I was here when that happened, and I watched them all die. Ooh.
But Ben is still there, hanging on like the cockroach he is.
Yeah, we have the lost card, and we're continuous on the beach. Locke says to Son, "It's like I think Richard's full of shit. Don't worry about it. If your husband's still alive, I'm gonna do whatever I can to get us back together. I'm the nice guy. I mean, I will give anybody anything they want because that's within my power to do. Because something's different about me now, and the thing is, I have a purpose, and everything's great, and I'm gonna make everybody's dreams come true." And Son's like,
So
"What?
cool.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Just find my fucking
Just
husband.
fucking find him."
So him and Jack have just swapped places now, in my opinion. So like
Oh yeah,
John-
I suppose.
Like Flock has the savior complex. He's gonna save everyone.
Yep.
He's the best at saving people.
Yep.
No one's
Well-
ever saved people better than him before. And then you got Jack, who's suddenly letting the island take the wheel.
Yeah.
He've saved billions and billions.
Oh, island, take the wheel.
He has no intention of saving these people. He's like,
No.
I just need one of you to stab Jacob though, real quick.
Yeah, and if I bring all 50 of you, one of you will probably do it.
When he's bound to do it.
We cut back to 1977. Some dickhead works Jack and Kate over.
Yeah, what the fuck?
This is hard. Like Jack says something. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And the guy's just like, "Don't talk."
Listen, between that guy and then the guy that hit Jack from on the horse, and then young Widmore, the others have some hotties in their midst.
They're living up to the title, the Hostiles. Fuck, just beating everybody. Like, come on. The guy, his name's Eric. He walks out. But yeah, he's fucking a model. Like, that's the face that's seen a cell phone. He doesn't belong in 1977. Like, you don't. Like that guy. No, it's like that thing. You can always tell a period show, and then you have a person that's too hot in it. Like when you watch Seinfeld and you look at Costanza, and he's 30. And people just like show it's like this is what a 30-year-old looked like in the mid-90s. You know, he's got no hair.
Yeah.
Like, it's like this man doesn't belong in 1977. He's much too attractive for this time period.
Hey, it's working for Bridgerton though. They just fill it with hot people. It's like
That's fair.
I guarantee you they didn't have that many teeth back then.
Jack explains to Kate Faraday's plan because I guess they hadn't talked about it yet. He's like, I'm going to reset the timeline. We're going to go back. A-15's going to land safely in L.A. It'll all be good. And she's like, well, what about all the good times? And he's like, what good times? What the fuck are you talking about?
You know who you should ask about the good times? Boone and Shannon and Charlie and Echo.
Fucking
and
Rose and
Ana
Bernard.
Lucia
Nikki and
fucking
Paulo.
Nikki.
Claire. Aaron.
Well, if he resets the timeline, she's kind of screwed because she's got to answer for her stove-related violence.
And
she's like arrested currently,
and that's what and that's the big thing. That's her whole thing the whole time is why she was never too keen on rescuing because she knows again she's one of the people who realizes that the life she left behind is arguably worse than what is on the island, even though the island's kind of blocked. And I don't know, like, and you know, she got to have a little sex too. So you know, she got to flirt with some dudes and eat some mangoes and play a little golf. Like, yeah, she was kind of on a vacation while like before they left. Like, not bad.
When she yells, "It was not all misery," I said, "Yeah, like the time you banged half the men on the island."
Yeah.
Yeah. Ellie comes in and asks about the bomb. He's like, why was he asking about the bomb? What's the scoop here? And he's like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. And then she's like, I seen that man. I saw him in 1954 or whatever time he told me about the bomb. He told us to bury it. We buried it. I see him again. I shot him. And it's like, why'd you shoot him? It sounds like you guys kind of were friends. Like,
yeah. Well, and right before he died, he told me that I was his mother, and I was like, "Oh, I'm really glad we didn't have to see that."
Yeah. And again, technically, Danny's still alive in this scene, depending on your definition of when life begins.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So she's like, I'll believe you. Just tell me. And he's like, okay, we're from the future. We need the bomb. Danny's also from the future. We use the bomb to undo this, and you not only will I get to go back to my life of drinking and being
fucking awesome,
driving my Bronco around LA just fucking loaded, like hunting for cigarettes and poon. Kate's like, I'm not on board with this. I get to go back to doing that, and you will have not shot your own son in the back. So sounds good, right? She's like, yeah, I'll do it.
First, Kate, throws some shade, which is kind of warranted because she's like, does he know what he's doing? And she's like, he thinks he does, which is actually classic Jack. So he always thinks he knows what's
really
best.
See you come. You got anything else, Kate? Anything for the good of the group? No, shut up.
Oh, and then and she's like, I'll take you to the bomb. The only problem is the Dharma Initiative built the barracks on top of it. So that's the one. And so
awkward.
So that's the end of the scene. So yeah,
actually, I really like that because it's like
it's great.
Oh, we just fucking came from there and narrowly escaped, and now we gotta fucking go back and get a bomb.
Yeah. If we would have only known that the bomb was under Dharmaville the whole time, we would have just started digging a hole. But yeah, that's the end of the scene. Let's talk family tree.
Okay, so Eloise is Faraday's mother.
Yeah.
Widmore is hooking up with Eloise.
Yeah. So presumably,
Widmore is Faraday's father.
Yes.
Which would make Faraday and Penny siblings?
Oh shit! Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they would be half brother and sister.
Yeah.
I totally fucking forgot about that.
Okay.
Damn.
Just making sure I'm not missing something here.
Man, you know who would be really good friends? Widmore and fucking Christian.
Oh, dude.
Let's pound
yeah.
Let's pound a couple of glasses of McClutchin and start a second family. You know what I'm talking about? Come back to the barracks. Still in 77. Radzinski and Phil and Horace have locked up Sawyer and no longer LaFleur now. So they figured out that he's not who he says he is. Actually, I don't know if they figured out I think they just think he's some sort of betrayal dude or whatever.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that they know that he's necessarily from the past, but he's colluding with these people that are
not. So I guess he's still LaFleur in their eyes, but yeah. So they're locked up, and man, Radzinski's a real.
Dude, Radzinski's fucking off the chains.
He's got the fucking blackjack, like beating his ass with it, like punching. Yeah. It's pretty great because he's like, "Tell me everything you know." So he's like, "Call my lawyer."
Yeah.
Fuck you, lawyer. What do you say when somebody? What do you say when the cops ask you a question? Fuck you, lawyer.
Yeah, fuck you. You got a warrant?
Come back with a warrant.
And then Phil jumps in on it, and Phil, like, I don't know, I felt like he half-heartedly shoved Sawyer onto the table.
Yeah, well, because Radzinski gives him the, like, Phil, go ahead, we talked about this. And he just kind of, like, slams his face up against the monitor, and it's like, did I do a good job?
Not quite good enough. We're going to have you start beating the women.
He was really excited about that.
A little bit.
So yeah, there's a commercial, and Horace is like, he's not gonna talk. It feels like I can make him talk, and fucking punches Juliet.
Dude, wow. I was like, get your hands off her.
Wow.
Also, that might work.
I was like, this is absolutely gonna work.
I'll tell you anything you want to know.
Yeah, I was like, they're in the jungle. I was ready to send him a letter. Like, I'll tell you, stop hitting Juliet. Some idiot walks in named Mitch, and he's just like, hey, the two that were here, they were late additions to the roster, and then there's a third guy, and they're like, who the hell is Hugo Reyes?
Do you recognize that guy? The guy that came in?
I do recognize him, but like, I don't know what from.
He played O'Leary in Black Dynamite.
Oh. Hell yeah. They cut to who the hell Hugo Reyes is. Hugo is a chef in the commissary, and he is getting ready to bail. So he's grabbing a couple snacks for the road, box of Dharma, vanilla cookies, a couple of cans of corn. I don't know.
Well, first they body shame him because they who the hell's Hugo Reyes? Like, the fat one.
Guy. Yeah.
Like, you guys
suck. I just wrote down here, they finally figure out after a week that these three they shouldn't have been there the whole time.
Right.
Like just now they're like, wait a minute.
Now I'm checking the manifest. Like
I got the list from Amy and they were late additions. Did you ask Amy? Did you talk to anybody? What kind of fucking nickel and dime operation is this Dharma Initiative thing? Just anybody can be in charge. Apparently a mathematician is the guy who's running the fucking show until Nutsack Radzinski gets a wild hair up his ass and just starts slapping people around. He's like, I'm in charge now because I got my fucking sidekick Mitch and Phil. Give me a break.
Horace folds like a fucking lawn chair. He's like, I'm in charge. He's like, shut the fuck up, nerd.
So Hugo grabs the food and he just like
Bails.
He grabs his guitar and he sneaks out of town, but he gets spotted. He tries to be nonchalant. He tries to be clandestine, but Dr. Chang sees him. Hugo meets up with Jin and Miles. And he's like, all right, I got the supplies. Let's go rescue Sawyer and Juliet. And they're like,
why do we need all these canned goods to go rescue our friends? We're not rescuing
doing that.
Friends. They're dead.
It's like, I saw them. They're alive. No, they're dead. We're going to the beach. They kind of argue a little bit. And then Dr. Chang sneaks up on him. And then, like, one of the best scenes in Lost happens.
Oh, dude. I know in our last episode, there was some frustration with Hurley just kind of being thrown in as like a comedic, like in the middle of kind of a serious scene. This was flawlessly executed.
Dr. Chang comes in and says, I spoke to your friend Faraday, and he said you're from the future. And he said he's from the future. And he was like, what? That's nonsense.
That's crazy talk,
We're not
Doc.
from the future. All right, then. When were you born? 1941?
So you're
46. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you fought in the Korean War? Never happened. And then there's a take to Miles and Jin's like, you seriously don't know that the Korean? He's like, I'm Korean. Like,
yeah.
And then he's like, all right, then, who's the president? Okay, we're from the future.
That's the thing, that Dr. Chang was able to lock in on is if you're a time traveler and if you're in your late 20s, early 30s, you're an idiot. Doesn't matter what time you're from.
Yeah, you just don't know about history, and that's fair.
And hers just like, oh, are you from the? Well, we asked you first. That was my favorite. Yeah. We asked you first. Like, I wish he just would have come back and been like, well, I asked you second.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's very, very funny.
Although, good thing it's not the present time, because then probably just could have gaslit him.
Oh,
just alternative facts or whatever.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who's the president? Franklin Delano Roosevelt. No, he's not. How long have you been on the island?
Yeah.
Because he's still president in the real world. Yeah.
That's fair. But Dharma seems to know everything about everything.
I mean, they're still connected to the mainland. So Miles confirms Faraday's warning. Faraday had warned Chang that he's like, get everybody off the island. Some fucked up shit's about to happen. Evacuate. And Miles is like, Faraday's been right about everything else so far. So if that's what he said, believe it.
Oh, do we say that he's also like, oh, and you're my son?
Oh, yeah. This is also in that same scene. He's like, so it is true. You are my son. And he's like, yeah. And then there's almost like the after special music or after school special music. Just like, it's so close to like an emotional, like, but it doesn't quite get there.
The women and children.
Yeah. Get the women and children off the fucking island and all that stuff. We cut over to Otherton, the others camp or the hostiles camp. Hostelville. Hostelton. Charles thinks he recognizes Danny. He's like, I know this guy from somewhere.
Oh, I know this cunt.
And Ellie's like, don't touch my sweet baby boy, and covers him up with a blanket. And she's like, all right, here's the thing. I'm going to take Jack and Kate, Richard, and Eric, this other clown. We're going to go to the bomb. Charles is like, you can't go anywhere, not in your condition. If he can't go there, why is she here?
Right.
Like, here seems just as bad as there. Like,
also, maybe the others don't know yet that you can't have baby on island.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
But again, Alex was born on the island.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, is like, I don't know if we ever get any answers about like the whole pregnancy thing. I'm guessing not.
No, we don't.
But it's like, I feel like it's like, all right, if you're within like the last 2 weeks, or in the last couple of weeks of pregnancy, then it's okay. But if you're still like,
no, I think the whole problem was conception on the island. You could carry,
right.
you could give birth on the island. You couldn't conceive on the island. Eloise and Charles must have gotten they must have conceived Daniel before they came over or whatever. But I thought the hostels lived there. I don't want to talk about it. I don't understand it, and they do not ever explain the whole pregnancy thing. It is so annoying that so much of the show was about pregnancy and babies and fucking and they never actually said anything. They never said why or what.
Well,
sounds like a lot of people having sex that aren't me.
Should be used to that by now.
How fucking dare you?
Let him cook, Chris.
How dare
Let
you?
him cook.
He's cooked. The kids would say, "You're cooked."
Get his ass.
Unreal.
All right. What the fuck are we talking about?
Unreal.
I don't know, Charles. His awful
they're
wig,
gonna
I
go
don't know.
get the bomb.
That wig is too much.
We got to 2007.
Oh, dude, I like this.
Yeah, this is the errand. This is what Flock needed Richard for. And Ben comes along. Flock demands to go see Jacob, but he's like, but first we got to stop at the plane. We're going to go over here. And they're like, what? And Ben's like, what plane?
Which is bullshit, because it's like,
You know
the
plane.
plane.
You
that,
know
like,
what the plane.
Yeah, you fucking know about the plane.
There's two.
Don't.
There are two planes on the island right now. There's the plane that you got here on. It's on Hydra Island, and then
Right.
the Beechcraft crashed here sometime in time immemorial, whatever. So yeah, they arrive at the good old Beechcraft. It's all charred. It has been burned at this point because they are in 2007, and we've seen this time skip in a different episode. The chronological audience also would have seen it.
That's what I was trying to figure out, if we've seen this. I figured that we would have, but I couldn't remember what episode that was.
We didn't know in that episode what time it was where Locke had skipped to, because all of those skips are not identified as they're skipping around in the early days of season 5.
Well, and all we saw was Richard. That doesn't fucking help. The guy's immortal.
Exactly. And we knew the Beechcraft had been burned, so it must have been a time after Echo and whatever had happened. But yeah, fucking John Locke, the real John Locke, please stand up, wanders in from the tree line. He has been shot by Ethan Robb. And yeah, he comes in, he tourniquets his leg with a fucking strap from the plane.
Yeah.
And then Richard wanders in with a Dharma first aid kit and some instructions from Flock.
Well, first, this had to be on purpose. There's no way he literally asks, because I wrote it in my notes earlier, and then they said it, because I was like, Richard, what's happening? And they say, Richard, what's happening? Just not in the Tommy Boy voice. And it made me a little sad. What's happening?
They do the whole thing, and it's like archival footage. Ben and Flock watch it happen from off to the side. Richard does the thing, and while that's happening, Flock and Ben have a little conversation about Jacob. Ben's like, you never seen Jacob? You don't know how to find Jacob? I know you don't know how to find Jacob. Otherwise, you wouldn't ask Richard to take you to Jacob. And Flock's like, yeah, but you never seen Jacob either.
You ain't never seen this fool. What's he look like?
What is he doing?
Describe him.
It's interesting because this is we all know this is the Man in Black. Can Jacob just hide from him? Or is it all just part of the subterfuge and nonsense that Flock is going through to get people to come with him? Because it seems like nobody ever tells him. Nobody ever leads him. He eventually, at the end of the episode, rallies everybody to follow him. And then they head to the statue. So it seems like...
Yeah, I don't know.
He does know where to go, but he keeps asking people to show him anyway. Just because it's part of his plan? I don't
know. But this whole scene, Man in Black is like wearing the cheapest John Locke suit.
Yeah.
He's kind of playing the part, but he's clearly not doing things in a way that Locke would, and he doesn't really care to.
Yeah.
He's like, I got the face, people, and the voice. People will believe it.
Yeah. And if nothing else, it'll confuse him enough to keep him off balance.
Right. But Ben and Richard obviously are like, what the fuck is going on? How does this guy know that himself is about to show up and what's ailing him and all these things? And Ben clocks onto it so quick by the end of the episode. He's like, listen, something is not right with him. Something has happened to where I need to look out for me, number one, and just go along with whatever his fucking deal is.
Right. And Ben's ultra confused because we know here on the pod he killed John Locke.
Yeah.
So there's no way that John Locke should be alive and here on the island because Ben killed him.
Ben's also not used to really being in the driver's seat, so I think this is really throwing for a loop. Like, usually he's pulling the strings.
Right.
So, like, he's, like, ultra uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Definitely.
John Locke, the real John Locke, disappears after the surgery is complete, creating a self-contained time paradox.
Wow.
The compass never exists, or is never the compass is never created. It is given to Locke by Richard, who then gives it to Richard to give to him. Where the compass comes from, it's never outside of either one of their possessions. It just goes in a circle between them in time.
That's kind of interesting. I don't know.
The writers purposely did that because they wanted to do that. Cut to 77, Chang comes to the security station and he's like, we're evacuating the island. We're in imminent danger. The hostiles are attacking. There's some other shit that's going to happen. Everybody gotta leave. Sir's like, yeah, put everybody on the sub.
Yeah.
Me and her too.
Which, wild that worked.
Cause,
you know what I mean?
Because he's like, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Just let us evacuate too.
Like, you'll tell me whatever I want to know if I cut off one of Juliet's fingers too. Like,
yeah, like
not really in a position to negotiate here.
Yeah, I agree. It's bonkers that they were like, yeah, okay.
Well, they packed a lot of action into this episode. I feel like
that's true.
Could have spread it out, made some of those other boring ass episodes a little more.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting because of what Sawyer says later, that they don't really have any authority over them. Like, once they leave the island, they could just fucking bail. So it's interesting that they're like, yeah, okay, draw us a map and you can get on the sub. Up to the jungle in 70, still in 77. Kate, she's like, fuck all this. They get to this pool and she's like, we got to swim under this pool to get to the bomb. We can swim under New Otherton. Or the barracks, and Kate's like, I'm not doing that. This is stupid. I hated this plan from the beginning.
My dad taught me how to track, but not how to swim.
I'm leaving. And Eric's like, don't you dare. And she's like, what are you gonna do? Shoot me? And he's like, I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
And Jack steps in the way. He's like, don't. And then we hear some gunshots, and Kate's like patting herself down, like, oh my god, I've been hit. And then Eric collapsed in a pile, and then from the tree line,
so he just emerges
from the jungle.
Did you catch what color pants was he wearing?
I think he's in all black commando outfit right now.
JP,
he's got the black tank top on for sure.
JP, I have a question for you.
Yes.
If you got shot, would you give a fuck what color pants the son of a bitch which shot you was wearing?
Hello, I'm senior Lost on Lost context correspondent Jake Jacobson. This joke about pants requires more context. During the sound check before the record, guest Chris Waters didn't know what to say into the microphone, so he decided to perform a sampling of Marissa Tomei's Academy Award-winning monologue from the 1992 film My Cousin Vinny. Here is the monologue.
Just remember, I have no formal training in acting, so this is just to get some levels. Imagine you're a deer. You're prancing along. You get thirsty. You spot a little brook. You put your little deer lips down to the cool, clear water. Blam! A fucking bullet rips off part of your head. Your brains are lying on the ground in bloody little pieces. Now I ask you, would you give a fuck what kind of pants the son of a bitch what shot you was wearing?
You now have the context for this joke. For Lost on Lost, I'm senior context correspondent Jake Jacobson. We now return to JP not remembering any of the sound check.
Absolutely. If some guy in like fuchsia pants shoot me, I'd be like, no. I would simply not accept the bullet. Like,
yeah, Saeed has been on the lam. Like, he escaped a few episodes ago and nobody's found him, and he comes here to bail.
And he's been waiting to shoot somebody.
Yeah. He's like, the last person I shot was a child, and there wasn't much, I didn't have to bring all my skills to do that one.
It did not spark joy.
So yeah, Eric's dead now. Fuck him. Awesome. That's good. Saeed's like, all right, well, I'm here now, and so now we're in charge. We outnumber you. It's me and Kate and Jack to Richard and Eloise. The three of them, Saeed and Jack and Kate, argue about how to proceed. Basically, like Jack's like, this is my plan. Blow up the island, reset the timeline. Saeed's like, don't need to do that. I killed Baby Ben. Kate's like, I saved Baby Ben's life because you're a psychopath. And he's like, you did what now?
The pause that Saeed takes of like, normally I would fly off the handle. Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
It was very controlled.
It was so good. They kind of bicker about what to do. And Kate's like, okay, yeah, you still haven't convinced me. I followed you here to see if any of this would make me believe that this is a good idea, and it hasn't. So I'm going back to the barracks. I'm going to find Sawyer. I'm going to find Juliet. I'm going to find Hugo, and we're going to do a more rational something. You do whatever you're going to do. We cut over to the sub-dock. Evacuation is proceeding.
They're actually doing it.
Yeah. Like people, like vans are pulling up, dropping people off, kids, women, children first, and all that stuff. Miles and Hugo and Jin are watching from the trees. They see Dr. Chang screaming at his family. And this was another almost like after school special moment. It's like, why is he yelling at them? And Miles is like, it's the only way he could get us to leave. He actually did care.
It's remember in Spaced, every time they like have the memory of when Simon Pegg accidentally pushed Nick Frost out of the tree, like the sad music that they play. We gotta put that over.
It's exactly that. Because he's like, he actually did care, and he showed it by screaming at my mother.
Father of the Year.
Gross. They're like, all right, well, cool. Get everybody off the island. That's probably a good idea. The fucking place is about to blow up. I really hope that we don't see any of our friends coming.
Shit.
They see Jim and Juliet in handcuffs being walked out to the sub-dock. And they're like, what in the fuck is that all about?
Listen, I appreciate that shirt on Juliet, but I'm mad that she's wearing it.
As opposed to nothing? Creep? What are you talking about?
I like seeing her cleavage. I'm mad that was the choice. Be like, we're just gonna dress her up like a Barbie. I'm like, she's a bad bitch.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, put her in the fucking jumpsuit. Everybody else gets to have a jumpsuit. Put her back in the jumpsuit.
The goddamn doctor, for Christ's sake.
Exactly. They load him into the submarine. They're like, ladies first. O'Leary from Black Dynamite's like, or whatever.
What was he like?
You heard me.
Yeah.
He's got like a fucking 1930s cop accent. Man, you're gonna get in a sub, you see? Like, he's doing some sort of weird affect, unless that's just his voice. And if that's just his voice, fine. But like, if that's a choice he made, and Stephen Williams was like, "Fuck yeah, go off." What the fuck?
Sawyer takes like one last look back at the island.
Good riddance.
Which, again, Hawaii's beautiful. Yeah. Don't go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
But he gives it the good riddance, after everything. That's the thing, Kate. That's what we're talking about.
Right.
He looks back on that island, thinks of all of the friends that he's lost, all the fucking bullshit he's been through.
Yeah, the fucking beatings and the dehydration and the starvation and the living in fear of the fucking smoke monster and the others and Ethan and
living on the beach, having his jugs fucking stolen from him, having to wear glasses,
getting tased by fucking Pickett because he's being forced into a hard labor camp.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Fuck this place. Good riddance.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Yeah. But even with the fact that he's like, I had 3 pretty good years, still fuck this place.
Yeah, fuck this place. Because he still sees a future. He's optimistic about the future. As they're walking down the dock, he's like, we're going to bet on the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl in '78. Like, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. We're going to be rich, baby.
Yeah.
Like,
invest in Microsoft, baby.
Yeah, we're going to buy Microsoft. Yeah. There is hope on the horizon for him. For a minute. We cut to the jungle. Richard and Saeed and Ellie and Jack dives through the thing. They swim. Did everybody did y'all hold your breath?
Of course.
You gotta hold your breath.
Were you okay during the scene? I know you're not a fan of underwater stuff.
It didn't bother me. And maybe because it looked real fake.
It did look real fucking fake.
Yep.
And again, you could see through it. Like, Jack dove in and he could see where he was going. I was like, oh, that wouldn't bother me, I guess. That much. He pops out and he's like, that was a lot farther than I thought it was going to be. I was like, you could see how far it was.
Good thing I'm real fucking good at swimming.
I can hold my breath the best. I can hold my breath for 10 minutes.
They always like open their eyes when they're swimming underwater in TV, and like I don't know. I've opened my eyes underwater. It stings a lot, and you can't see shit. So I don't know why they always do it.
I wear glasses, so if I'm in the underwater with my glass off, I can't see anything anyway. Might as well keep my eyes closed.
That's a good point.
They arrive in the tunnels. This is some carved out, tunnel-y bullshit underneath the barracks. Saeed's the last one to come through, and Jack's like, "Oh, I didn't think you were gonna come." And Saeed's like, I was here.
Really nothing better to do. So
Yeah, like why wouldn't he come? Come back to 2007. Flock to camp. Flock asserts his authority.
Ooh,
he's like, Rich is like, I'll get you a tent set up. And he's like, well, let's just go now. And it's like, well, fuck that. It's the middle of the night. And he's like, I'm gonna talk to the let me address the people. Let me talk to the people. People, please, people. I am John Locke, your new leader. You spent years taking orders from an invisible man named Jacob, and nobody's ever seen him?
And he fucking sucks.
He's fucking lame. He's always telling you to go a place, telling you to break camp and make camp, research pregnant ladies, and, do whatever. And then, his chosen emissary is that nerd over there. And Ben's raises his hand. Wouldn't you rather take your orders directly from the source? I tell you what, people, I am going to Jacob, and I want to take you all with me.
Reverend.
And Richard's like, I'm starting to think that John Locke's going to be a little bit of a problem.
You're starting to think?
And Ben, in the most earnest he's ever been, why do you think I tried to kill him?
Now can I do a little fucking armchair quarterback?
Absolutely.
You guys tell me which of these lines has more impact. That's why I tried to kill him, or that's why I killed him. Know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
We established that Ben killed him and somehow he's back. So I did kill him. It's not like I'm bad at killing people. Like I've killed folks before. I'm pretty sure I can get the job done. But no, I did kill him and he's back now.
Yeah. I'm starting to think that John Locke might be a problem. That's why I killed him in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Richard would be like, what the fuck? And then they could both together realize that this is obviously not John Locke.
Right.
Come back to the sub doc. James and Juliet, they talk about the future. What are we going to do when we get to Ann Arbor? He's like, I'm not going to fucking Ann Arbor. Are you kidding me? We're on an island in the Pacific Ocean. We're taking a fucking submarine to Ann Arbor. We're going to take this all the way around to the eastern seaboard, up the St. Lawrence River Seaway, through all of the 4 out of the 5 Great Lakes to fucking Ann Arbor, and then stay there? Get the fuck out of here.
I don't know, Adam. You know that I do always look for submarines in the Great Lakes. I've been sending you the quarterly newsletters.
I can't look at them because of how deep the Great Lakes are and all of the shipwrecks, and it terrifies me.
That's fair, but we gotta find all those subs that are out there. I know they're out there.
The big lake known as Gitchigumi never gives up her dead when the storms in November come early. We all know this.
Obviously.
Anyways. Yeah, they're like, they have got no authority to hold us. They're not the police. Like, what did we do? We broke some sort of Dharma law, and now we're got to go to Dharma jail? Fuck all that. Like, the second I get back on the Continental 48, I'm sticking Bradzinski's gun right up his own butt, and we are out of here.
Either that, or they're going to kill us and dump us in the ocean.
Either way, as long as I'm with you, baby, smooth sailing.
Everything's going to be okay.
Juliet's like, that's kind of sweet. I really hope nothing ruins this moment. Hey, I found this soggy flip-flop trying to wander back into town. And Horace said to put her on the submarine too.
I love the exposition because it's like we can't be bothered to actually do anything with Kate.
We don't have time to show her sneaking into town. Let's just show her. She's already been caught. Kate comes clomping down the cell bladder, and they handcuff her to the table right next to Juliet. Juliet sees Sawyer see her, and she's like,
yeah. Now I understand why Juliet did the whole thing in the incident part 2, I think, where she's like, no, I saw the way you looked at it or whatever. Like, there was more to it than what we had seen up until this point, but it's still pretty fucking weak.
Yeah, she's so mad. There's like There's plenty of handcuffs to go around. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Join Brayden on the fun.
yeah, there.
You don't have to be jealous. Oh, wait. Is this the 70s? That's not cool yet. Or no, wait. It was more cool in the 70s?
It was
We're in
actually
the 2000s?
more. Yeah, it was more cool in the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
But we're in the 2000s, so now it's not cool again?
it's not
or-
cool in 2007. It is cool in 77, and now it is cool again in 2024.
Yeah, it's super cool. Right, honey?
Yeah, Kate and Juliet seem to get along okay. Just poly that shit up. Fuck.
Or just never speak to Kate again.
Yeah, or just like let her stay in Ann Arbor and you guys can go to Bloomfield Hills, another suburb of Detroit. She's like, hey, and he's like, hey. And yeah, Juliet, I mean, nobody, it's bad enough she knew the whole time that she kind of like won by default, but then like it's shown to her that she was the second choice.
Yeah, but given the choice, I feel like he would still choose Juliet. I would.
A rational person would. You and I would. He wouldn't because he's Sawyer. And at the end of the day, he still loves Kate.
That's dumb as hell.
Well, and it's weird because it's one of those things where he knows that he loves Juliet. Like he loves Kate, but not like romantically. And I just don't think he understands the difference between the romantic love that he has for Juliet and the platonic love that he has for Kate. Because, has stunted development emotionally, being raised in the system and, having seen his parents be murdered and suicided in front of him.
Oh, yeah.
And then he himself is a murderer. Like, he's got a hard time sorting through his emotions. Like,
that's fair, but still.
He doesn't know how to parse his feelings for her. And Juliet is a modern woman and she's not going to give him the time to do it. She's like, look, I don't want to be your second choice because I'm everybody else's first choice.
Right.
So, I'm going to be sad about this for a little while, but I'm going to get on with my life. I really hope that I don't die in an explosion. The sub disembarks.
The CGI here is like, well, now it's terrible, and I notice it, but I'm wondering if at the time people are like, oh, that's pretty sweet. I don't know enough about this.
There were people like, that's a nice real submarine, and now we're like,
We've seen better CGI on the show.
It's television VFX. You can only do so much. They have like a little mini like Hunt for the Red October thing where they do all the nautical like, prepare the boat for whatever, pressure that ballast,
Batten down the hatches.
Give me
Swap
that.
the poop deck.
Yeah. Give me that other key. What's that from? Crimson Tide? Yeah.
Yeah. I thought for sure that they're just going to do some Das Boot shit because that feels very Dharma.
Yeah. Come back over to the tunnel. Saeed is like, hey, Jack, are you sure you trust her? And he's like, does it fucking matter? What are we talking about here? We're about to go get a fucking hydrogen bomb, man. Let's just do it. Like, yeah, I trust her because if I don't, I can't get the bomb. And I want the bomb.
Right. Well, two things. One, he's like, in the future, she tells us how to get back to the island.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. One. Two, in current state, before she's even that person, she is concerned with righting the wrongs of murdering her time-traveling son. So, like, she's got some skin in the game here.
Right. Yeah. She's not just doing whatever. She's in this. They get there. It's in a mine cart. It's got Jughead spray painted on the side of it.
Oh, does it? I missed that.
Yeah, the bomb's named Jughead, and so the episode Jughead is about Jughead the bomb.
All right, now I'm kind of back in on Jughead.
Now I'm feeling Jughead. I got this.
Me and Jughead, way back.
Cut back to 2007. The next morning, Flock's group breaks camp. They don't break camp, actually. They just start heading out. And so maybe Richard is leading the way. Like, so maybe the man in black, Flock, doesn't actually know where he's going, so whatever. But so like, yeah, him and Ben are just walking together. It's like, and Ben's like, you know what? I've come around. You did a good speech last night, and yeah, this may be like just a tactic, a survival thing on my part, but I'm in it.
As your publicist,
you're the leader. I'm the follower, following the leader. If you can get our people back, I'm all in on the new John Locke.
Sure.
And he's like, that's great to hear.
Love that.
I'm not actually doing any of that. Here's the thing. We're going over to the statue so I can kill Jacob. And Ben literally stops in his tracks.
Ben just can't catch a fucking break, man. Every time he's like, okay, I think I know where I stand with this guy. Locke says some other insane shit.
He's like, I am getting a fucking whiplash trying to follow what's happening these past 5 days. I was recently in a plane crash.
And someone beat the fuck out of me.
Somebody hit me in the head with an oar. She's right there. Where's Frank? Has Frank been here this whole time? We just didn't get to talk to Frank. Where's Frank?
Frank has made a tiki bar somewhere, and it's just fucking.
Yeah, he's probably just still over on Hydra Island, just being like, I'm not going over there. Yeah, we're going to kill Jacob, and you're going to help me. Lost. So, first thing we got to do here, we got to figure out if we liked it and or was it good. So, did we like it? Was it good? It's a little segment in which we delve into whether or not we liked it and whether or not it was good. So, Chris, why don't you explore those topics for us?
I did like it. Like I kind of said earlier, there was a lot of action, like, so I didn't really get bored. It jumped around a lot, but they did a better job in this one of like saying people's names, which historically has been an issue. Like,
Oh yeah, totally.
So like I could kind of remember, since I have a basis of something to remember from, I guess.
Sure.
I mean, I thought it was good. Like, it held my attention for the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, there was always something happening. Yeah, it jumped around a lot, but not to the point where I totally lost what was happening.
Yeah.
I don't think, but
Okay, so you liked it.
yeah, absolutely.
Cool. JP.
I really like this one. Yeah, same. I was locked in. I thought it did a great job setting the stakes and setting the stage for the incident part 1 and 2. Put a lot on the line for a lot of different people. Has a lot of conflicting things, and it was really entertaining.
Yeah,
So,
cool. All right.
Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I had a good time. I think it does a good job setting the table for the incidents part 1 and 2, which are the next 2 episodes immediately following. It's pushing the cart up the hill so that we can hit the climax and roll out at the end of season 5. I dug it. Yeah, some good stuff. Follow the leader, not bad.
With that out of the way, with a resounding yes, yes, and yes, let's give out some awards, shall we?
Yeah.
Fucking do it. The Lost the Lost MVP. Who gets the gold star for the day? Who gets to stand on the top of the pedestal? Who was the greatest? Who was the best? Who was your favorite? Chris, start us off with your Lost MVP.
Man, I feel like this happens so much, but gonna do it anyway. Love my guy Hurley. He's like, I don't know, always putting in the right amount of work.
Yeah.
Comedic timing, like, I don't know. He's just my favorite, I think.
His big scene with Chang it's
so good.
It's the little sweet comedic moment in what is a pretty tense and action-packed episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a really nice break, like right in the fucking middle.
Yeah. All right, we're from the future. I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
You're 46? Yeah.
Who's the president?
Ronald Reagan. The actor? All right, JP. Who's your Lost MVP?
I'm giving it to Flock.
Interesting. Okay.
I really liked the scene where he's giving Richard instructions on how to save Locke.
Sure.
And I really like that scene, and I know that Flock is not sort of the driving force behind that scene, that time travel is, but I enjoyed how manipulative he was.
Sure.
And how sort of gatekeepy he was with information, and how confident he was in just telling them what to do, and how much of an upper hand that he has. So like as a villain, to watch him just be in his element and have clear motivations, I was like, this is great TV. I love this shit.
You know who it's really reminiscent of?
Who?
Ben.
Oh,
From seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
when he was in control, when he was
Totally.
manipulative, when he was pulling the switches and gaslighting and moving the cheap pieces around the chessboard, and we loved watching him do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's why I liked it.
And at the end of the day, he needs Locke to survive long enough to inhabit his corpse, I guess, right? Because he's got Christian Shepherd, but he can't. Kind of, is that what's happening? That's my interpretation, I guess, in all this. Like
he needs to, in that scene, tell Richard to tell John Locke, convince him that part of his path is to die, so that he has a believable suit to wear when they come back. Because any of the current guises that he have, imagine if you woke up from a Jira 316, you're Ben, and Paolo is like,
I was gonna say Charlie.
welcome back to the land of the living, dude. It's like, who the fuck are you?
Oh, you don't recognize me? I'm the bassist from Drive Shaft.
Everybody.
Just beats him to death with a rock.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So it's pretty great. Making sure to pull just the puppet master, and it's pretty great.
Adam, MVP.
Oh God. I can't do it. I'll give him an honorable mention.
Go for it.
Honorable mention Sawyer.
Okay.
Ooh.
Fuck you. Get me a lawyer.
Yeah.
Smart. But I think the MVP has got to go to Saeed.
Okay.
I know it's been done before. The fucking secret backup from the tree line. But when it's Saeed, it just fucking rules. Like,
Yeah.
like
you know there was like no chance you were getting hit. You knew those rounds were landed at their intended targets.
and again, we haven't touched too much on it because we're still missing quite a few season 5 episodes. But they come back to 77. Jack, Kate, Hugo immediately hook up with Sawyer and Jin and Miles and just join the Dharma Initiative. Saeed just got separated and they throw him in fucking prison because they think he's a hostile. And then he's like, all right, well, I'm not in the fucking group anymore, so I'm going to make my own moves. Oh, hi, Ben Linus. Blap, 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 blap. And then he escapes, and he's like, now I'm in the jungle. I'm in the jungle now, and I'm doing my own shit.
Everyone's got factions and teams, and Saeed's like always got to be out on his own because, again, the writers made him too fucking powerful.
Solo commando. And I just love that. Yeah. Kate patting herself down. Oh, my God, I've been shot. And then that stupid idiot Eric dying. And Saeed just like, hey. You fucking know.
You know what? Good pick.
Good picks, though. Hurley, Flock, Saeed, honorable mention Sawyer. Nicely done.
What a beautiful tapestry.
But the other side of this bit.
Oh.
The other side of the tapestry, the one that is all like wrinkly and knitted. And so like, you know, on the other side of the tapestry, you can see the picture, but this side, it just all kind of looks like carpet remnants and like that grid that they weave carpets on.
A loom?
A loom, yeah. That thing. The Lost Forever. King Sucker Shit Mountain. Who's out here hacking it up, fucking it up, making things worse by the presence? Chris, hit it.
I think I got to give it to Redzinski.
Redzinski?
I don't know how to say his name. Redzinski. Like,
Stuart Redzinski, yeah.
he is just a streak, you know?
Yeah?
That dude's like a scientist of some sort, but he's like also a maniac.
Would you say a mad scientist?
But then, the main science guy comes in and he's just like, shut up to you two. Like, I'm in charge. And, like, everyone's just, like, cool with it. I don't know. He's on a power trip.
Yeah.
I wish someone would have shot him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been upset about that.
Somebody eventually shoots him.
Do they?
Oh.
He does. He shoots himself with a shotgun.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Sorry. Listen. Watching this show out of order.
Yeah.
Good. Hey, Adam.
Hey, what?
Good joke. That's very good.
If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, please dial 988 for mental health assistance.
JP, who's your Lost Forever?
Chris, I don't want to. I'm not trying to invalidate your choice. I want to dig deeper into it. I'm going to give it to Horace.
Horace, sure. Disgusting, filthy, known pedophile Doug Hutchison.
Right. Well, on top of that.
Yeah, on top of that.
You're supposed to be the leader of this place? Then start fucking acting like it, man. Apparently, this place was on the brink of collapse at any given moment. You're in this weird militaristic utopian place. You got to be the leader. Like, power is imaginary. It's a construct, right?
Yeah.
And apparently you weren't exuding any, and the first chance folks got to steamroll you, they just did, and you folded like a fucking lawn chair? Fuck you. Come on, man. Be better.
No doubt.
Adam.
Well, there were 3 dudes in that scene that were all pretty shitty. Redzinski, on a power trip. Horace on the reverse of that, lack of power. And then Phil, just out here punching Juliet.
Yeah.
Like a big dick. Fucking Redzinski's little sidekick worm. Hey, Redzinski, I know how to make a talk. I'm gonna punch Juliet.
Blam.
Yeah, punch. Fucking, you suck, Phil.
Get your hands off my wife.
Unreal. Honorable mention, Phil. Or Mitch. Forever Phil, honorable mention, Mitch.
Yeah.
Nice. So, the trifecta of Dharma leadership, Horace, Redzinski, Phil. Honorable mention,
wow.
Mitch. Chris, thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, this was a blast. Do you have anything you would like to plug?
Schools. I'm a teacher. We're in kind of a rough place, I feel like, right now. It particularly maybe in the state of Wisconsin. But support your teachers.
Yeah.
If I could ask anything of anybody, just if you're a parent with kids in school, approach with an open mind. Maybe ask some questions. Don't go in like Danny DeVito, like, So I started blasting. Like, that's kind of the theme of this episode. Don't do that with the teachers. Maybe just like come in cool, calm, collected, ask some questions. That'd help us out.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yep. Teachers are public servants, and we need them because they are teaching the youth of the nation. Good stuff. We appreciate you, Chris.
Don't shit on the euphonium.
And never shit on the euphonium.
Yeah, don't you dare.
But yeah, we appreciate you, Chris, not only here on the podcast, but your work out there in the real world. Keep it up, man. Appreciate you. JP.
Yeah.
What are we doing next time?
Oh, man. Great question. If you're looking to be lost with us, next time we are going to be watching Season 4, Episode 9, The Shape of Things to Come, starring Ben.
Ooh.
Benjamin. Mr. Jenny Hawks is going to be joining us for that one. James Leesky.
James Leesky, yeah.
Season 4 Ben episode? I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, can't wait. I'm sure it'll be interesting.
It'll be something. Oh, man. Well, Chris, thank you again for joining us. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Adam, thank you. And hey, everybody who's listening, thanks for tuning in to Lost on Lost. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm Adam.
I'm JP.
Do you have any idea what's going on this show?
No.
Me neither. Lost on Lost is produced and edited by me and JP.
We wish to acknowledge that we live, work, and produce our show on occupied land.
Burbank, California is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Tongva, Chumash, Kizh, and Fernandino Tataviam peoples.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Peoria, Potawatomi, Miama, and Ho-Chunk peoples.
And Lost was produced in Hawaii on the lands of the Kanaka Maoli.
Visit native-land.ca to learn more about the land you live and work on.
You can engage with us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Lost on Lost 1.
You can also email us at wearelostonlost@gmail.com or support us with dollar monies at coffee.com/wearelostonlost.
Thanks to Lostpedia and its community of contributors, Danny Schmitz, random.org, and as always, you the listeners for tuning in.
We're hosted at Podbean. You can hear us there or wherever you get your podcasts, except MySpace. We're not on MySpace.
Yet.